So I promised a Q&A video once we got to 100 subscribers, and here we are. You gotta celebrate the milestones no matter how small they are. What's up guys, Coach Seth here, and if you are a basketball fan or wanting to improve your basketball performance, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest content. All right, let's jump right into this Q&A. So EA2K asks, when did you first start getting into basketball? That is a good question. I don't know if I can pinpoint the exact time or exact moment whenever I was like, man, I love this game. Because I started playing it and I started loving it at a very young age. So it's really hard to know when exactly that moment was. So I will say one thing that jumps out to me is in middle school, that's kind of the time where I slowly started to realize, hey, I'm not very good, or I'm not where I should be at all. I do remember my 7th grade year being a very tough year for me. It was pretty eye-opening. It was the time when I realized that I'm not very good, or I'm not where I should be. I should be a lot better than what I am. It was the first year of middle school, and I was so pumped. I was so excited to be able to play for the school. Because of my older brothers, I was known and I was supposed to be like the best player on the team, and I wasn't. And there was some games where I didn't score. I didn't do much of anything. And there was multiple games where I was in tears after the games, and I'm just like, why am I not very good? Like I didn't understand it. And we had a losing record. I think we went like 6-8 that year. And it was just a very disappointing year for basketball for me. So all that being said, I do remember that I took a point that off season to really work on and focus on my game, because that's one thing I didn't really do a whole lot of. I played basketball all the time. I played in stuff all as long as I can remember, just because it was fun. I just went out there and played, you know. But after that 7th grade season, that's when I kind of realized, and that's when I kind of just started actually working on my game, working on the mechanics and the fundamentals and shooting and things. And so yeah, I really worked hard on that off season, and ironically enough, that's when I kind of hit my growth spurt. I probably grew about 5 or 6 inches. So my 8th grade year, I was probably about 6'1", and that's when I really started to see improvements in my game, and that's when it really started to become really fun for me. So to answer your question, I don't really know when I really started to get into basketball, but I do know my 8th grade year, that's when I really started to see improvements in my game, and that's when it really started to become fun for me. So I would say 8th grade. Lou Polo, I hope I said that right. Lou Polo asks, how old are you? I just turned 26. Next question, Afro Ninja asks, can you tell us about your basketball career? I just want to start off by saying I haven't been avoiding telling you guys about my basketball career, but it is a little, I don't want to say embarrassing. It's kind of more disappointing than anything, just because I don't really know what happened. But I actually did not play outside of high school. So my high school senior year was the furthest I went. And not because I didn't want to. I probably wanted to more than anybody that's ever played. I can't really explain what happened. I mean, I could sit up here and make excuses all day, but I'm gonna go over my guesses of why I didn't get recruited or go to college. One I would say is, I went to a pretty small school, which is weird because both of my brothers got recruited and got a lot of attention, and they were both about 5 inches shorter than me. So I don't really know what happened there. And I know what you guys are thinking, that, well, they were probably a lot better than you. And I mean, you could say that. I don't think so. I don't think if they were better than me, they weren't that much better than me. They might have been a little bit better dribblers and a little bit better shooters, but I mean, I had the height, and I think I had the potential as well. I had the potential to be a really, really good player. And I guess you could say that I didn't do any work on my own to get recruited, and that's true. I didn't really know I needed to. I thought, in my mind, I was like, if I'm good enough, if I go out there and play what I need to play how I need to play, and play good enough, I shouldn't have to do anything on my own. I should just create all this attention to myself. And that can be true to a certain point, but in my situation, I probably needed to do other things, talk to coaches, email coaches, make a highlight reel of my games, whatever, you know. I probably needed to do other things to spark some attention. And another thing is I was always worried about what I was doing in my situation. I didn't want to worry about the future because I like focusing on what I'm into, you know, like I wanted to focus on winning games at this moment. And for me, taking the attention and putting it on future colleges, that was going to take away from winning games. So I didn't want to do that to my team. I wanted to keep the focus on our season in my senior year. I know coaches like stats and things like that, and it's not like I didn't have stats. Like I averaged probably about 22 points, over 10 rebounds my senior year. I was probably in the top 10 in my area of scoring and rebounding. I know I was in the top 10 of rebounding, but I wasn't at the top, so maybe that was part of the reason. I probably could have averaged more points. That's one thing I could have done better, I would say. Whenever I play against not so good teams, I don't feel like I need to score a bunch of points. Like the only thing in my mind was to get the win. Like, so I didn't really worry about scoring a lot whenever we knew we were gonna kill a certain team, except for one game, and that was senior night. That was the very last game that we played on our home floor, and that was when I had a career high in points. Other than that, I didn't really focus on just patting my stats whenever we played a bad team. The only thing I was worried about was getting the win, and that could have hurt me as far as recruiting goes. So that was a very long answer to your question, and I hope I didn't lose subscribers for not validating my talent or my knowledge by going to college to play. But my advice to you guys, if you're in high school and you're wanting to go to college to play ball, you're gonna have to do some work on your own and talk to coaches and email coaches, make a highlight reel, just do whatever you can to get to that next level. That's the thing that I regret in high school, and it's kind of disappointing. That was my high school career. It was short. It ended my senior year, but I did win all 4 years of districts in high school. We had a very good team my freshman and sophomore year, which I didn't start my freshman year, but I did play, and I did start my senior year, but I wasn't like the best player on the team. But we did go to state that year, which was a lot of fun. So we had a lot of good seniors my sophomore year. So they graduated that year. And my junior and senior year, I was the guy. So that's when I had to step up. And I feel like I did. We wasn't supposed to win districts that year. Nobody thought we were going to win districts, and we did. And we lost the first game outside of districts, but I would still call that a pretty good season, even though I wasn't happy with anything unless we won state, you know, the very best thing we could do. We didn't have a lot of talent on our team my junior and senior year, but even though we might not have had the most talent, we still played together and played as a team and basically put ourselves in a position to win almost every game that we played. So my junior and senior year was still a lot of fun, but we did not go to state. My senior year, we went to the game right before state. So we were close, but that's when we met up with Scott County Central, and that's the team that Otto Porter played on. If you guys know who Otto Porter is, he's I believe he's a starter now on the Wizards. I actually made a video on that, talking about that. If you watch that, you'll know what I'm talking about. We got blown out. It was a very good team. You know, we were just outmatched basically. But yeah, we almost went to state that year. Well, I guess we can say we almost went to state that year, even though we lost by a lot. But yeah, that's about it on my career. I miss it a lot. I had a lot of fun though, and I always try to keep up with basketball and keep up with playing because I just love the game, you know, and I love talking about it. I love trying to help people get better too. And yeah, that was another long answer to your question, but thank you guys so much for asking those questions. If you are new here, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest content. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.